catching up with Flying Wild Hog here at Gamescom, and last thing we saw from you guys, Shadow Warrior, something equally violent and bloody, JuJu, or is it something entirely different?
Yes and no, because as we can see, it is a classic 2D platformer, and it's aimed at parents who want to play with their children, who want them to introduce them to the consoles, to the games that are richer and are not violent. But on the other hand, it is similar to Shadow Warrior in a way because we like calling our games new old school. So they have this classic vibe to them, but they are full of new graphics, of course, new design principles, and they're just full of fun.
So I played a little bit with you. It's co-op is really at the core of this game. Can you tell us a little bit about the decision to go in that direction?
The decision was made when our boss tried to play with his kid, with his son, and they couldn't find a proper game because some games, some platformers that recently came out are just too hard, and they wanted to enjoy something that is simple yet engaging, and that both of them won't be bored by, because our boss is a hardcore gamer and he's got like a 7-year-old son, so we wanted to make something that will work for both of them. Thus JuJu, the game which is focused on the co-op experience. It is drop in, drop out, so you can start playing and finish playing in multiplayer whenever you want. It's a couch co-op, so we are really caring about parents and children or siblings just getting together in closing up the relationships by playing, by gaming.
So how do you solve that riddle? Because it is a little bit of a trick, that sort of thing, to be both deep and at the same time sort of simple. I suppose there's some sort of asymmetry to the co-op then.
Yes. First of all, the second player, the sidekick, Peo, who we see right here, he's a little bit easier to control. He's got a special attack that allows him to instantly defeat enemies. What is more, when you're playing in co-op mode, dying is a little bit harder because both of the characters has to lose all their hearts in the same time. If only one of the characters loses his hearts, he's turned into a bubble and just resumes the game after a few seconds. But this is not the only thing that lets the players with different levels of skill to enjoy the game. The levels are designed in a way that the main path is quite simple and quite obvious, but if you want to collect everything, you want to find every secret, you really have to put some effort in it. What's more, you can unlock additional levels, additional difficulty levels. There's a hardcore mode only for the most tenacious ones, where if you lose one heart, you have to start over the entire levels. And some of the levels are really hard.
What's the scope of the game? I understand you have a few different sort of worlds to explore, and what's the scope of the game?
We've got 4 different worlds, 4 different settings. Each one consists of one planet. You've got several levels there, and you fight a boss fight twice there, because all of the bosses are these innocent creatures turned into big, ugly, mean bosses by the last boss, Calypso. And when we fight them for the first time, we gain a skill, and then when we fight with them for the second time, the fight is completely different, and we have to utilize the skill we have gained when we defeated the boss for the first time. So it's about, I would say, 6 to 8 hours of gameplay, just straight up. And when you want to unlock everything,
you have this mechanic in the game that's a little bit special, a little bit different, where you sort of, is it enchant or chant?
Chanting.
Chanting. Yes, you're chanting, and it sort of distracts your enemies, but it also interacts with the environment. And can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, we wanted to make this game as much cheerful and happy as we could. So the main character JuJu is a shaman, so he's got this magical dance chant, and when he dances, he may invite to the dance everything that is in his range. So the enemies just dance with him and are stunned for a while and can be avoided or just whacked right there. Also, you can interact with the environment by chanting magical totems or plants to make them grow, to open up passages. Some enemies can't be defeated just straight up by jumping on their head. You have to utilize the chant to change their behavior. For example, we've got these enemies with hats on their heads, the workers, and when you chant, they start dancing and just waving their heads, and you can then jump on their heads and defeat them.
Right. So I understand you're pretty far into development, and you're planning to have it out later this year. What platforms are you targeting, and when do you think it will be done?
It will be done this fall, and it will come out on PS3, Xbox 360, and Steam.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.